Lots of questions, Time to get some answers.
You can't do this alone.
Hello and welcome to Rock Paper Shotgun. This is Noah, and today I'm looking at Just Cause 4. It's the next installment in Avalanche's series of daft open-world action-adventures, and sees Rico Rodriguez turning up in the fictional South American country of Solis, ready to take down a private army called the Black Hand. And I'm not entirely sure why I'm telling you the story, as the real reason you're here is to see massive explosions and ridiculous gadgets. And before we turn the country into a giant fireball, I'd like to say a quick thank you to Shadow for supporting this video. For more info on the impressive cloud-based PC, check out the link in the video description. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really understand this game. I mean, I understand the appeal of these giant explosions, I do have a pulse after all, but the game is lacking in shape. Technically speaking, there's a narrative holding it together, there are definitely cutscenes where characters say words to each other, and there's also a suggestion of a larger territorial war, but as confusing as this map looks, it really just boils down to the same minor acts of aggression against enemy forces. The lack of dramatic pull may sound negative, but I wonder if therein lies the beauty. Just Cause 4 is accurately named, because this game is just about doing whatever you can, precisely because you can. Times 4? So here is a collection of dumb stuff you can do in Just Cause 4, just because. And why not? It's not like there are any other compelling reasons to stick around in Solis. Rico can, once again, embed his grappling hook into objects and pull them about with retractable tethers, but this time you can tweak the behaviour of the tool. With an early upgrade in the game, you can use tethers to attach a little balloon, or two, or three, and watch as someone or something floats into the air. Think Metal Gear Solid or Stephen King's It. It works on everything that isn't nailed down, like this cow, or that tyre, and would you look at that, it carries my weight as well. It didn't, however, work on this target I attempted to float into the air to shoot, because nothing beats a personal challenge. A grenade didn't budge it at all, or dislodge that pesky base of concrete, so my dreams were dashed, and I feel like this video is quickly devolving into a schoolbook edutainment gig, as in, the cow goes moo. Only with tether balloons. Remember class, the tyre goes up, the concrete does not. The sky really is the limit though. See what I did there? From surfing on floating cars to weaponizing animals, if you can think it, you can likely do it, much like the other games in the series. Of course, it would be a total disaster if you started getting your airlifters and retracting ropes mixed up, so you can equip different grapple extensions across 3 loadouts. Within the loadouts, you can almost program how you want it to behave, telling the tether what it should do with certain button presses. For example, you could teach it to automatically retract 2 objects together, but could also attach a side balloon that only inflate when you tap a button. You can also tailor the effectiveness or strength of each effect. If you're using the retracting ropes, you can set its strength so that it can open doors, or if you're feeling a bit spicier, pin stuntmen to helicopters. It also helps with this fancy booster that can move something in whichever direction standard physics answers for. If I weren't so obsessed with recreating the movie Up, albeit with more bloodshed than the Pixar classic, I might actually use the retractors more often. At the moment, they only get a proper workout in side quests like this one, in which I'm helping some lady film a movie because who needs a stuntman when you have all this gadgetry? But back to balloons. Sorry, globophobes. Using it against enemies is where it gets fun, or it would if I perhaps were more creative. You can hopefully see my brain's very basic progression on screen right now, from step 1, floating enemies to shoot them as they helplessly dangle, to step 2, floating enemies and dropping them from a great height. Next on my list, tether an explosive barrel to something, tether groups of people to that same thing, and watch as they go boom. Or if you want to see the world from a different angle, why not create a mobile viewing platform by attaching balloons to a shipping container and grappling to it as it floats away. Now this is much more like Up, if the lovely old man lived in a shipping container. But enough about nostalgic old-timers, let's get back to the explosions. Strip all of Just Cause 4's complexities away, and you'll be left with pure, unfiltered chaos. That's chaos with a capital C. It's the currency you're trying to collect in order to inspire the locals to take up arms and do something on the world map. Once again, I'm not really following the plot here. Nothing says chaos more than a big explosion or 4, just to be thematically consistent here, although ad infinitum would be more accurate. Thankfully, there are plenty of things to blow up in Just Cause 4, often to spectacular ends. You'll often find giant red tanks, mechanisms and red barrels to shoot on your mainline quest locations, which you have to, in a roundabout way, liberate by taking down the Black Hand and forming your rebellion. Nothing new in terms of video game logic, but fun nevertheless. More so if I could find some ridiculous way of doing it, but alas, my obsession with balloons has blinded me to other possibilities. I think the best thing to explode are these giant sausage-shaped tanks, because they have the delightful habit of spraying fire from the end and going on a little trip. It's like when you release one of those long balloon animals, only those things don't turn into a volcano when they reach their destination. I mean, if they did, they'd probably get banned from kids' parties. These tanks are basically giant metal bullets that stand a good chance of wiping out things they crash into, if you can line them up with a bit of clever tethering, that is. You could also attach airlifters, set off the explosive countdown and then ride the firework through the sky like Slim Pickens at the end of Dr. Strangelove. It's odd that this is the closest we'll ever get to a video game adaptation of Stanley Kubrick's satirical classic. I'm not sure he would have endorsed it. Another explosive to watch out for is the giant ball of death, which seems to have been invented solely to be very big and thus stand a greater chance of catching a stray bullet and detonating with an explosion so big I'm amazed it doesn't birth another universe right in front of our eyes. Of course, why tell you all of this when I can just show you all the pretty fires? As news networks will no doubt attest, carnage is a visual sort of thing. Why bother walking if you can just grapple to the shops for a cornetto? If it wouldn't obviously require a lot of muscle, I'd say it would be an even unhealthier option than driving there, and I would know, because I combined the two. Rather than use my fancy wingsuit, or parachute, still the best way to get downhill or just eye those incredible views, musing about how the cars look like ants and so on, I decided to grapple from car to car, royally peeving off the drivers, and riding my way to the next quest marker. It was quite efficient, I must say. It actually turns out that shooting a truck or car, which I did by complete accident, obviously, might make them a little prone to careening off the road, but it speeds them up as well, thus getting to your destination even quicker. I guess even blind panic won't cause someone to deviate from their journey. No two ways of putting it. Grappling is great. Obviously it helps in getting around skirmishes too, with the kind of speed that rivals a certain web-slinging hero. Then of course you can barrel into enemies at top speed to set them up for a punch to the face. Still, it's at its best as a means across this ruddy huge map. I'm pretty sure I started slipping into a weird trance just grappling from place to place completely uninterrupted. So smooth. Thanks to Just Cause 4's kind of wonky yet weirdly logical grasp on physics, you can swing about undeterred for large portions of time and space, which is pretty darn enjoyable. It helps that every time you travel for a particularly impressive period, you get a little achievement pop up on the screen. You know, for the extra rush of happy hormones on top of the ones you get from vicariously defying gravity. If grappling isn't your thing, though I can't understand why, you can also drive and fly all manner of vehicles in Just Cause 4, so why not try everything? I know I did, and it certainly makes getting around more fun. Here I tried to drive this lorry before crashing it not so spectacularly. Side note, how do people drive these things? They're stupidly long. Naturally, I thought grappling onto this helicopter right after might be fun as well, and you can see how that went. Speaking of chopper-related escapades, in this side quest I had to fly one to train up a pilot of my choice. This lady seemed like the tamer version for this novitiate. But either the game told me how to land, and I missed it, or it simply neglected to tell me at all, and so I couldn't figure out how to complete the side quest. Cue another montage, only this time of much trepidation, death, and failure that genuinely had me roaring. Where other games might have me tearing out my hair in frustration, the various modes of transportation as well as other gizmos and scenarios in Just Cause 4 make for a good laugh, all around. With each new vehicle introduced comes a new realm of silly possibilities to faff with, simply because. And there's something so supremely satisfying about being able to run or fly amok in this wide open space where you can get out exactly what you put in. Parachuting, for example, is pretty pedestrian until you start to grapple onto things, thus steering yourself to new heights and in new directions. Charting the skies in a little plane is alright, until you start attempting to barrel roll, loop-de-loop, or trying to park it in a hole that certainly looks the right size. Oh dear, what is it with me and landing? It's still early in my Just Cause career. I've only just got the game, so can't offer a full breakdown of the game's destructive might. Plus there's the promise of extreme weather conditions, tornadoes and the like, that I'm still working towards, but hopefully I've given you a better idea of the tools you have to play with. Part of the reason I've not gotten very far is because I'm too busy tooling around. Before I say goodbye, I want to say thanks again to Shadow for sponsoring this RPS video. Shadow is a high-end, cloud-based computer available on any internet-enabled device. Just like any Windows 10 PC, you can use it to work, play, or browse. It has the specs to handle any game and comes with an integrated fibre connection perfect for downloading any game or uploading a video with the speed of light. For more info on Shadow and a discount for RPS viewers, click the link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this quick tour of Solace. If you want to do something else just cuz, 4, make it subscribing to the channel and liking this video. I can't guarantee it will be as ridiculous or amazing as the stuff I just detailed, but we can promise you PC content coverage, some of which you'll see on screen right now. Just be sure to grapple your way on over, use a balloon or booster and you'll never catch up to us. That's physics for you. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.